This is the career planning and job search video for the BUS-201 class. When I come into class and participate in your assignments, the pieces that I am focusing on really center on part-time job and internship search. So I'd like to start with explaining how the three major components of what I'm covering in class relate to that very practical exercise. So with a part-time job or internship search, you have to start with a job posting or an opening. And I explained this in the brief video on the assignment sheet. You can find job postings or job openings through Handshake, through other websites, through word of mouth. You might hear about them from a faculty member, from a family member. And then the next action that you take is you apply for those job postings. In order to apply, you require a resume and a cover letter, which is why those are two of the exercises that we are covering in class. The resume and the cover letter, though, don't lead to the job. People will often mention, I'm going to submit a resume because I want to get that job. First of all, the resume almost always needs to be accompanied by a cover letter. And really the outcome of that application is the interview. And the interview doesn't even really specifically lead to a job, as you can imagine from what I've typed up here. It really leads to an offer. So they offer you the position, hopefully, and then sometimes there's salary negotiation if it's a full-time job, and then that is what leads then finally to the job. So the interviewing is another piece that we'll be covering in class. So these are the three components, and this is where they fit into the framework of a part-time job or internship search. But all of this is kind of getting ahead of ourselves, because especially if you're a sophomore taking 201, taking Business 201, it is too early to be just saying the next thing you need to do is look for an internship. And it's even maybe not helpful just to say look for a part-time job. But what we should be saying is that in terms of career planning, you should be thinking ahead to what you might be interested in the first place, and then how those experiences might shape or frame your career search. So let's go back up here just a little bit and talk about these pieces. So for career planning, which then leads to the job search, it really requires self-exploration and discernment. That's the stuff that is covered in the How to Choose a Major in a Career booklet. And here are some ideas that I just would like to talk about that lead up to that. So self-exploration and discernment happen because you engage in this cycle of behaviors. You begin by engaging in something. It could be a part-time job. It could be an organization on campus. It could be a service learning project. It could be an organization during high school. And so you engage. You don't just passively do that. You actually engage in it. And during that engagement, you discover something. You discover that you are not interested in it at all, or you discover that you are interested in it, or you discover that you're interested in a particular component of it. And then you adjust. So the next time you have the opportunity to be involved in that, or involved in an organization, or take a course, or whatever it is, you make your next decision based on what you discovered. So let's say that it's an organization on campus, and you have you engage in 2 organizations on campus, and you discover that one of them is not that interesting to you, but the other one really is interesting to you. So you're going to adjust during the next cycle, and you're going to maybe quit one of the organizations, and maybe you're going to maybe you will not only stay involved in the first organization, but you'll maybe take on a leadership role. And so then that engagement and then discovering something new and readjusting takes place over and over and over again. So I encourage you to out loud, wide awake, engage so that you can discover and explore and then discern. Related to this are a couple of other ideas. So I'd like to just have you think about, why are you in college? There are these 2 ideas underneath there, and both of them I think are potentially dangerous. So the first one, it's the expected next thing after high school. I'm sure that this described me. It was sort of the thing that my family expected me to do after high school. All my friends expected to do that. I probably said this proudly. But if it's the next thing that we expect to do after high school, the danger is that we will treat college like high school, and we will simply move through our courses like we did in high school, instead of moving through them intentionally and asking ourselves, am I curious about this subject? Am I interested in this? Am I not interested in this? So that we can go back to this engaging in the courses, discovering what we like and don't like, and adjusting, maybe even adjusting our major. So if it's the next thing that we are simply expecting to do after high school, sometimes that can flatten the experience, and we end up on the other end of college graduating, and if you're smart, you can get through and do well in all this stuff. You're good at it, you're skilled. But if you don't ask yourself, am I curious about these things, you might end up at the other end with no more information about yourself than you had in the beginning, and still puzzled about, what should I do for my job? So as we get ready for the assignments in the course, and you're going to be being asked to think about the next step in your direction, part-time job, internship, I want you to be thinking actively about, what might I really be interested in? What might I want to test through a part-time job or an internship? The other possibly dangerous thought is, I'm pursuing college to get a good job. And there's nothing wrong with that by itself, but the danger is, again, that you will simply think that the mechanics of college, the mechanics of the university experience, without your active participation, will simply lead to that. You'll be focusing on getting credits, passing courses to get the credit, so that you can eventually get the degree. But what employers are interested in is not that you have a degree. What employers are interested in is, what curiosities did you develop during college? What did you learn about yourself? What are you interested in exploring now? And I'll cover this in another video, the reason why curiosity is so central.